Put the engine on.
Could be cutting some oats.
Hi folks, here's what farming looked like on the farm in 2021, from winter oats planted the year before through to wildflowers and barley. Let's get cracking. There's a tradition locally whereby those that live near us come out and plant some potatoes and then come back with their families and help to pick those potatoes when they're ready, and last year was no different. Thanks to Dane and Derek for planting the potatoes in as straight line as possible when the old man's driving the tractor. But let's get to it. First things first, we need to combine the oats. He has arrived. So I get the drone out, I think. It's absolutely toasty out. We're in the middle of a heat wave. And the old man, no cab, no hat, no sun cream, no water. Daft as you like. Let's get cracking. After shooting this bit of video, I then set off to get the drone. And in the time it took me to get the drone, the old man managed to catch Chantelle on fire, and in his rush to avoid setting fire to the oats, reversed Chantelle off the side of the field and into the quarry, or what was the quarry. It turns out one of the bearings had failed and had caught fire, so it was pretty quick thinking on his part to avoid putting a whole field of oats at risk. We spent a little bit of time finding a new bearing and got nice and dirty fitting that bearing. What do you think then, old man? Have we fixed it?
Yeah.
For those watching, you can see it's a lovely clean working area where health and safety is paramount.
What else do you do with the spanner now?
Which spanner do you want?
11/16. There it is. Spanner's a bit hot.
So the bearing is in, and we're now putting the spring tension back on, belt back on, and then it's operation remove the combine harvester from the quarry back into its normal resting place, a field of cereals.
potatoes.
Whilst Mum and Dad and the two boys are having a tea and coffee break and faffing about, Grandad's putting diesel in. Hold that upside down, Grandad, and don't spill it.
I don't spill very much, do I? Try putting it the way you want to put it in. You spill it.
You might have something on about how I do it. We've got nowhere to store the volume of oats that we knew would come out of both fields. So those that were having the oats came to get them every time a trailer was full. All of our oats and straw went no more than 5 miles away from us, which we're delighted about. Morning, folks. So I think we've settled on Chantelle, the combine, just on the naming update. The little boys seem to think that was the right name for him, or her, sorry, her. So Chantelle is the combine, and unfortunately poor Chantelle's been stuck under a tarpaulin for a few days. Unlike most modern combines, we can't harvest 100 tons of something or other an hour with Chantelle. It's a slow labour of love, which means that the weather windows you do get are kind of not quite the openings that allow you to get finished. Really, you want whole days and weeks to finish, whereas if you had a much more modern piece of machinery, you might be able to do it in an afternoon. Chantelle's not able to do that. So we got about 2/3 of the oats harvested over the course of about a week and a half, 2 weeks. The first lot was a little bit too damp, the second lot was about right, and then we've had to shut up shop for a few days again. It rained solidly for 4 days maybe, so poor Chantelle's been under there a while. But it was dry yesterday. It is supposed to be dry all day today, all day tomorrow, and all day Thursday. So our plan is to unwrap Chantelle this afternoon, probably late afternoon, early evening, and get this little patch left done, which I think, rough estimate's probably about 1/3 of the smaller of the two fields left to go. So let's say an hour and a half to 2 hours, assuming no incidents, and at the same time the straw needs to be spread out just to dry it out. So I'll probably try and do one lot on both fields during the course of the day, and then again this evening, and then again tomorrow, row it up and then bale it. So hopefully the weather stays dry. I will introduce you to the hay bob, or as Jennifer likes to call it, the straw tosser, which I think is a fantastic name for it. So yeah, that's where we're at. Just like that, the oats were gone. Onto the straw tosser. Good afternoon, folks. So today is day 2 of baling. Baled the smaller of the 2 fields yesterday. I didn't film any of that because I wanted to get the job done, and what we're trying to get in and out of the cab and sort the camera out, I just didn't film any of it. So you'll have to take my word for it. I baled yesterday and the small field's done. And today we're on the big field. I've maybe done a couple hours, and I'll introduce you to the technology that we're using for this, because it goes some way to explaining how I feel about it right now. So Terence, who is absolutely fine, does what a tractor needs to do. baler. I mean, we could go with basil the baler maybe. Let's go basil the baler. Again, bales. Now, one thing about basil I would say is the amount of straw that you can put through him is not very high, so he's quite slow. It's basil, but that pales into insignificance when you meet this. That, viewers, is a Bale Sledge, and it literally is what it says on the tin. The bales slide out and eventually end up in a pack of 8 or 12 if you want 12, but 8. And you pull on a bit of string, which is hanging off the back of Terence, and your bales scoot out the end of the Bale Sledge. Except this Bale Sledge, well, this Bale Sledge is old, and I mean old. It's got some gaffer tape. Most of its joints are very well rusted, and in short, it's infuriating. Like, I just wish I could get rid of it and get a different one, but at this point in the day, with the sun out, it'll take me longer to get rid of this and find a different one than it will just to get in and out of the cab every time I have to fix it. I'm not going to come up with a name for it, because as soon as this job is done, I'm gonna throw it away somewhere, set fire to it, I don't know, just get rid of it, because I don't want to see it anymore. I've got a day and a half of this left to go. Anyway, baling. We're baling small bales. Easy to handle for farmers, for things like calves or just animal pens generally. Tends to be their main use. You might be able to see right on the other side of the valley there, those guys are baling what I'll call proper bales with a proper baler, really big bales, and it's been nice to watch, but at the same time slightly frustrating because it takes me a lot longer than it takes them. But you can't pick one of those bales up by hand, you need a handler and all that kind of stuff, so this is the other end of that spectrum. Sun's out now, it's a bit of a slow morning, a bit overcast, so it did take its time, but now it's warmed up. Straw's dried out nicely. Let's get cracking. Did I mention that I don't like this sledge? I think I did. I mean, there are sledges, and then there are sledges. And this, ladies and gents, oh, that's quite the pickle. I might have to cut one of these. Or maybe not. I don't think I will. Let's go. Now this is the offending bale. It's caused the problem in the first place. Now, like that. Right. With the fields empty, one of our neighbours, Arthur Sanders, and local hedge trimming legend came out and cut the hedges for us, which is very kind of him. With the hedges cut, it was potato picking time. Ruth's less interested in potatoes and more interested in Percy. Hello, Squidge. Now, what are you up to? Are you?
Yeah.
And what gear are you in?
Into 4th gear.
4th gear. Are you going fast or slow?
Fast.
Fast. And what are you using Percy to do?
To dig potatoes.
To dig potatoes.
The potatoes are not on here.
No. Where are the potatoes then?
On there.
And have you picked any up?
Yeah.
Have you had any blackberries today by any chance?
Yeah.
How many have you had?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10 potatoes. What's your chin? He's bonged his chin on Percy the red tractor.
Bongest chin.
What's Grandad doing? What's he doing?
I'm just moving about. What ride we're watching?
Did he get stuck?
No.
Do you think he knows how to drive, Percy?
Yeah.
Before I could get to ploughing, there was the muck to be spread. The old man made a start, and I left him to it. Muck spreading allows us to return fertility to the soil, improve its structure, and ultimately grow new crops. We had the soil tested in both fields, and we'll need to put a bit of lime into the larger of the two fields, which is going into barley. Once the ploughing's finished, we'll get the lime guys out to put some lime in it. We're creating a wildflower meadow in the smaller of the two fields, and once that's had a chance to establish itself, we're going to reintroduce animals onto that patch of the land parcel. Those animals will help improve the soil facility themselves, which should mean that we don't need to spread muck or add anything else to that part of the land parcel in the future. So this is the contraption that's just spread the wildflower seed. I would have taken some footage of trundling around the field with this on the back, but in short, you can't see any of it coming out because the seed's so fine. So it's just me bashing about on Terence, and you just have to believe me that the grass seed goes in there, you trundle around a bit, comes out there, and the logic is really that you put half the seed you've got in, cover the whole field, drive about 1 tractor distance apart, and then if you get the whole field in one go with one half load, if that makes sense, then all you've got to do is bash the other half in and then drive in between the lines, which means you get kind of 100% coverage, and that's just exactly what we managed to do. So I'm gonna just go and get the drags and drag it one last time to get rid of the wheel marks, and then we can roll it. We're almost there. A little bit of rolling work to do with Percy this morning. Field's been ploughed, seed's been sown. While I was away ploughing the larger field, the old man snuck in and put the roller on Percy and did some of the rolling in this field, which is because it's quite a nice little job, really. It makes it look really nice, and he loves Percy. So while I was doing all the hard labour with the ploughing, which over time is just a monotonously tedious job sometimes, he was in here trundling around making it look nice, and he's just very kindly left me a patch, I don't know if you can see that, in the middle. And he's left the roller on Percy rather than Terence because he likes Percy, whereas I find Terence is a much more enjoyable thing to use because Percy doesn't have any brakes. So, I mean, it makes it a very difficult operation, really. Anywho, so a little bit of rolling to do this morning, and then I'm over into the larger field just to do the last little bit of ploughing in the corner. Wait for lime to arrive. Once the lime arrives, the guys that provide the lime spread the lime as well, so once they've done that, I can go over there and drag that field as well. We're almost there, but farming like it's 1970 is a slow, laborious affair, that is for sure. The lime guys snuck out. Here's what the field looked like after the lime guy had been. Whilst the old man does own a seed drill, it's not quite as modern as the one in front of you. Thanks to Johnny Clark and his wife Julie, they've helped us plant the barley. Johnny did a great job. So that was 2021. Spring's just around the corner. Let's see what it brings.